What is up, everybody? Welcome to my new show, Combat Casual. That's right, because we're all casuals here. Um, so obviously, first live stream on the new channel. There's going to be some changes around here. No impressions. Now there'll be some impressions, but hopefully some of the cringe will be. My mic's a little loud. Taken out of the show. Um, Good to see Sean here. Got Anakin. Chummy boy hanging around. He's going to go to sleep. It is probably late over there in Thailand. I do not blame you, my friend. The solo dolo. That's right, Sean. So a few things I want to talk about is just the TKO boxing. They announced that they're going to try to, well, it was reported that they're going to try to get rid of the Ali Act in boxing, and also the new structure that the UFC is trying to do, in which like they'll take 10% of your purse if you don't fight um, excitingly or whatever. Good to see Pesero MMA. Peter Yan calls out Umar. Really? I like that fight. Some good Russian on Russian violence. You don't see too many Russian versus Russian matchups in the UFC for some reason. I'm sure you can guess why. But it is good to see you. So yeah, let me get an article pulled up. We can talk about this TKO boxing trying to change the Ali Act, which I figured they would do, because their current structure of how they're going to do TKO boxing isn't really going to work with the Ali Act, right? You kind of need to get rid of the Ali Act to do boxing in the style in which Dana White has structured the UFC. Pissed O'Malley got the rematch. Yeah, with Merab. We can talk about that too. To me, it's like trying to hold on to the last bit of star power that Sean O'Malley has in the UFC, in my opinion. Which, by the way, I did say I was delaying the show because I was uploading a intro. I just want to make sure that it's not going to get copyrighted because it is kind of a banger. Not going to lie, it has some fight clips in it. So, but yeah, I mean, it was largely uncompetitive, their first fight, right? But I guess since Merab just kind of out grappled O'Malley, they're just like hoping that Sean can get it done in a rematch scenario, right? I think it's a strange. I do agree with you, Sean, that it's like I don't think he's deserving of the rematch. You can't. More importantly, I don't like when anybody gets a title fight off of a loss, right? I mean, we have that this weekend coming up, right? Where Volkanovski is getting a interim title fight off of a loss. And also it doesn't look good just on paper, right? When you got somebody coming off of a loss, getting a title shot, come on, UFC, we can do better than that. Yeah, let me get this article up here. I'll read some of it, and then we can kind of discuss it. Let's see here. Also, we got a new background. Let's see. Do it like that. Okay. So the headline is UFC requests to change the Ali Act amidst Dana White's TKO boxing. How can you go live with only 43 subscribers? Not talking smack, just curious. So, I mean, your subscriber count has nothing to do with you being able to go live or not. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, purple and black, two of my favorite colors. Yeah, it has nothing to do with your subscriber count. It just being linked up to StreamYard and you're good to go live. So, but thanks for asking. So yeah, there's obviously a picture of everybody's favorite duo in combat sports, Turki Al-Sheikh and Dana White. All right, since the turn of the century, the Muhammad Ali Boxing Reform Act has regulated the ways boxers and promoters do business. All who want a career in and around the sweet science have navigated the sport under those rules, but now there is a new player at the table who seemingly intends to flip the entire board over. President of the Association of Boxing Commission, Mike Mazzulli, revealed the big. Oh gosh, I got my fucking screen all fucking up here. Blah 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 blah. In an email to regulators earlier this week, per Eric McGracken, who is actually a really good journalist in combat sports, by the way. I thought you had to have 50 subs. Apologies. Possibly for like to go live through YouTube, but I'm using StreamYard, so screw YouTube. Oh my gosh, this freaking. Every time you try to present a page in StreamYard, it starts going crazy. Starts jumping up and down around. Presently, the UFC TKO is requesting an amendment to change the Muhammad Ali Act. The board of directors is working with them to make sure the ABC is still part of federal law. The Ali Act does a number of things intended to keep promoters from using predatory and anti-competitive practice against athletes. Oh my gosh, something the UFC itself is alleged to be guilty of. So, obviously, MMA, the UFC, is not protected under the Ali Act. What the Ali Act does is it just makes it so your promoter cannot also own the title, right? So that's why they came up with the boxing commissions, the WBA, the WBC, the IBO, the IBF, all of these fantastic boxing commissions that we just love so much. Not really. So yeah, the UFC owns the title. That's why MMA. I mean, in all MMA orgs, own the title. So what I'm guessing they're wanting to do is they're wanting to create the TKO boxing belt. And so that would kind of allow them to have more control over what fighters fight who. Because as it currently stands, these promotions, Top Rank, PBC, Matchroom, Queensberry, they don't actually own the belt, right? It's the WBC belt. So this is going to be a way for Dana White to have more control over boxers, and obviously that's what he wants. Because, as I said, the way that UFC works can't work with a boxing model. So, what does this mean for like the wider world of combat sports as a whole? You may look at this and think TKO boxing is not going to work because with Dana White trying to make a boxing league structured like the UFC, it's obviously not going to pay as much. But let me tell you guys, there is no end to the amount of people that will sign up for this new boxing league. Even though it sounds worse and they'll make less money, people are going to line right up. Now, there is an interesting aspect to it in which you may say, well, Turki Al-Sheikh has all the money. He's going to be dumping money into this. And I would give you some pause because though Turki Al-Sheikh, Too Smelly says, very accurate assessment. 5 promotions make money from people fighting for less than their. Yeah. Exactly. Yes. So, but when Turki Al-Sheikh comes into play, this man is the what is his title? It's like the Minister of Entertainment of Saudi Arabia. Some people think he's the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. That is not the same guy. It's Mohammed bin Salman. He is the Crown Prince. But Mohammed bin Salman has dipped into the fund that's for like public. So I don't know if you know this, but like Saudi Arabians don't pay tax Um, there's just a big fund for the public, right? And it's basically with oil money that they've just amassed this wealth fund. Um, so Mohammed bin Salman has been changing how Saudi Arabia is run, and he's had Turkey Al Sheikh spearhead um, the ways in which they can gain entertainment. And him being a huge boxing fan, he's brought a lot of boxing and MMA to the country. Now, if you watch those events, which I have, you may notice that the crowd isn't very big. They're not very hardcore about the sport. There's not a lot of cheering going on. They did decide to do an event in Los Angeles headlined by Bud Crawford versus Israel Madrimov. And they lost a lot of money on that event. And I think that there's some evidence to support that the government is kind of like going, okay, let's rein in this spending with no return. Um, so that's why Turkey Al Sheikh is teaming up with Dana White, because Dana White's going to be the one. He's going to be the talking head of the company. And though I think it'll be partly funded by Turkey Al Sheikh, I don't think Dana White. And by the way, it's not just Dana White; it's TKO Boxing. So it's going to be Ari Emanuel, who is the president of TKO, will be involved, and they're not interested in just losing money on every event. And they did lay out their pay structure already, but I think that the first few TKO boxing events, they'll spend some big money just to kind of, you got to spend money to make money, right? They'll kind of get it promoted heavily, and you will see probably. I predict a few really really good cards from TKO Boxing, and the quality is not really the main concern here. It's the fact that they're trying to get rid of the Ali Act. TKO is my idea. Damn it, Dana. Um, it's going to be dangerous for the sport of boxing getting rid of the Ali Act. Now, let's not just be like alarmist here. Like, they already kind of fudged the rules of the Ali Act already, right? Like, you're just gonna sit here and tell me that Mauricio Suleiman, the president of the WBC, isn't already like working with promoters to favor certain fighters and get them certain matchups in which they aren't fighting the best number one contender? Hell yeah. Do I think that boxing regulatory bodies are being paid off? 100%. If you look at Bridgerweight, which is a WBC invention, it's a weight class in between cruiserweight and heavyweight. Look at who's ranked at Bridgerweight. Okay, no heavyweights and no cruiserweights are ranked in that weight class. It's all just people you've never heard of, and I guarantee you, these people are in the pockets of the boxing of the WBC. So there's already some kind of ways in which you can get around the Ali Act that exist in the current boxing landscape, but this is going to blow the doors off of that. And we've already seen what Dana White can do as far as, and as the article lists, like predatory, exploitative practices that the UFC has been accused of, which, by the way, we all know they definitely engage in those practices. This is a big concern for me, but money talks, and I think that there's going to be no end to the amount of people that sign up to take an L with TKO Boxing. With that being said, I think we got to wait to see how this plays out till we really get like a lot of pushback from the public and really, journalists at large who are critical. But I think we'll get the classic Dana White. Oh, the media, they're all stupid. They're all a bunch of bullshitters. So yeah, watch out for that. But I do think that it's very interesting and worth, talking about as the first thing we talk about today. Just the fact that TKO Boxing is going to try and change the Ali Act. Are you kidding me? And obviously, Mike Mazzulli, president of the ABC, um, I don't think he's going to do much. I mean, look, he's worked with Dana White for 20 years now, or maybe more, to get the UFC, legalized in all states, and that's fine. That's awesome. That was a good thing. Setting up when the UFC did their countrywide tour, they even came to Boise for one event. It was really just to get MMA commissions set up across the country, and he's done a lot of good work with that. So I think that he's gained enough standing in statewide government that this is not ringing red flags to people. Don't forget, I think it was a couple years ago when they went to Utah, the commissioner of the Utah State Athletic Commission was like, "Hey, don't reveal your fight purse. It's actually hurts your negotiating power." Like these people are in the pocket, are in the pockets of Dana White, and it's not going to change. Now you're bringing, Turki Al-Sheikh's negotiating power with his dollar to the table. I don't think that this. I honestly predict this will go through in a way in which benefits TKO Boxing. I kind of wish that it didn't, because I would like to see them kind of crash and burn. Especially if they're going to do a boxing organization the way in which they're trying to do it, right? So yeah, I also wanted to talk about. Let's see. Let's get this out of here. I want to talk about this new thing I heard where, and again, I don't want to say this is for sure going to happen, but they did say that they're going to deduct fighters' purses for being boring. Let's see. And this is just something I saw on Twitter as of late, but it kind of coincides with the fact that they, just are keeping up predatory practices, in my opinion. But I kind of want to talk about this because, one championship does this. They don't do it as in hey, you can't fight boring, or we're going to deduct points from you. But that is written into the rules, with yellow cards and red cards. If you fight tentatively, you get a yellow card. Let's see if we can find this. Which, by the way, what are you guys thinking about the new channel? Do you like the graphics? Do you like the things that we're doing? Always looking for input from you guys on ways we can improve. Obviously, this is a new channel. It's a new era in my streaming days on YouTube. It's like the Machida era, but it'll last a little longer than that. I'm sure if I go to MMA Fighting, they'll have an article on this somewhere. Where's the skateboards? They're around. They're in my trunk, dude. Plus, I only have one skateboard. I don't like these people that have 5 different skateboards. What promotions will you cover, dude? I mean, I'll talk about all of them. As far as coverage goes, though, really just the ones I'm most interested in. So most kickboxing organizations, you can bet that I'll be covering on this channel. Well, at least the ones I can watch, right? Glory they're ramping some stuff up this year. We'll see how successful that is. Obviously, we had a pretty good card. It was the one night. Well, it was a tournament for Glory 100. I wish we could get one night tournaments back. Let's see. Let's get this up. PFL, BKFC, UFC. So I'm really not the biggest BKFC guy, but you know what? I'd like to bring Barter on to talk about BKFC. He's really in the know when it comes to BKFC. Plus, he's a solid guy. I've had him on the channel before for MMA Nerd, so he'd be a really fun guy to talk BKFC with. So yeah, I mean, if that's what you guys want, but any shows with Isha for Japanese MMA or oh yeah, definitely. And I don't want to like reveal too much, but I'm trying to do more collabs with Isha. I really would like to do a weekly show with him. We'll see how that pans out in the future. But yes, definitely Japanese MMA with Isha is on the docket for sure. Give me 1 second. I gotta turn something off really quick. But yeah, 100%. Isha has been a big help. Really in just starting the channel, supporting the channel. The guy super chatted me like every stream I did. Donated some money. So yeah, 100%. I'd like to do more stuff with him, but he's a busy guy. He's got a lot of stuff going on with his channel, but in that same vein, like I'll be supporting his channel no matter, however I can. Jay has been saying that he'd like to do some shows with me too. So it feels good. It feels good that I've been supporting their channels for a couple years now. Obviously Jay much longer. But yeah, man. I guess just kind of what would you guys like to see? What would you like to see if I was to do a collab with those guys? Hispanic Superman leaps tall half pipes in a single bound. Dude, I wish I was that good. Good to see you though, Hosier Daddy. Any shows with any people who is a Taurus? I don't think Isha is a Taurus because he's born before April 20th. But yeah, dude. Look, I mean, I'm always down. Always down to collab with anybody. No chill, and I will probably be doing some fight companions together. But the fight companions and the live chats is fun. Like, I'm just glad that anybody tunes in for my live chat. You know what I'm saying? That I get to talk MMA with literally anybody is the whole reason that I started this channel, was just to talk MMA. It turned into more of that. Not really on account of me. I don't want to make this like, I mean, it's unavoidable. I don't really want to make this channel about like what went wrong with Split Decision. But it is inevitable. I never really wanted to do fight companions, and I am glad that Hank pushed for it so hard. But I never really wanted to do. I wanted to do different kind of content. I really just making picks, doing live chats. That's really what I wanted to do when I started an MMA channel. But yeah, it sounds like I have plenty of support from the YouTube community. As far as collaborations go with people that I really respect inside of the combat sports space. So yeah. May 9th, hey dude, shout out to you. And 9 days after me. So I'm hoping to go to DC in May. We'll see how that pans out. I want to see if I can find this article because I'm almost guaranteeing that they did an article about these. Did you guys see this? They were talking about they're gonna like deduct fighters' purses for fighting boring. April 7th. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. It's just something I saw on Twitter. And I just want to get a article in front of me to kind of get more context on it. But I guess it doesn't really matter. We can talk about it anyway. So if let's just say that the rumors are true, and I heard something about it. Yeah. Let's just say the rumors are true. I can't find an article on it. Let's just say the rumors are true, and they're gonna start deducting purses for having a boring fight. I'm into that, actually. It sounds kind of fucked up, but to tell you the truth, I'm kind of into it because you know, people have been complaining a lot about the UFC's decline in quality. And, while that is due to bringing in less than reputable fighters off Contender Series or guys that have a winning streak in LFA, and then, if you lose on tough, you lose if you lose on tough, they'll call you up late notice anyway. If you lose on Contender Series, they'll call you up late notice anyway. They just need bodies to fill in these shows. Um, I wouldn't be too opposed to like, hey, you have a boring fight, we're gonna deduct you 10%. But at the same time, like, what's the constitute what's boring and whatnot and what's not? I guess if fans boo during your fight, that's boring, right? Um, but to me, it's like, dude, just implement a yellow card system, right? You guys are clinching too much. You're being too tentative. You get a yellow card. It really speaks to the fact that, like, just the rule set that the UFC, which I'm thankful they did implement to get MMA legalized, is just not. It's not working. I mean, it works enough, right? But and you could even argue that like Pride, the judging the fight as a whole is also controversial. Like judging a fight is never going to be perfect. But yeah, it just makes way more sense to implement a yellow card system where if people are fighting boring and the referee's not liking the action that he's seeing after multiple warnings, just yellow card him. Also, like that'd be better for fouls too, right? If I foul you, you get a yellow card. You don't have to. I mean, it is deducting a point, but it's also taking away their money. Um, I think that the better way to solve this problem of boring fights, just do a yellow card and allow knees to the head of a ground opponent, right? But we know they'll never do that. They'll never do that. They did change the 12-6 elbow rule. That's cool. But I don't know if you'll ever see a big jump in the rules to where like now we're deducting points like yellow cards. What's the new channel going to be about? MMA, man. Good to see you, by the way, Beach brother. Yeah, just MMA. Well, combat sports as a whole. That's why it's called combat casual. It's kind of a joke because obviously if you're watching me talk about combat sports, you're not a casual. And if you are casual, we're just getting into the. I mean, really following these type of channels is a way that I got more educated on the sport. I've only been watching since 2019, by the way. But yes, this is one way that I got way more educated about the sport. So yeah, man, it's going to be really a lot of the same for me. I'll try to make some videos. But right now, we're just going to try to pick up where we left off, man. Just doing Fight Companions live chats, making picks, blah, blah, blah. Same old, same old. I know that doesn't sound like revolutionary, but I mean, really, like I did a channel for a year. You already saw what I'm doing, and it's going to be the same thing. So, but thank you for asking the question. Good to see you, Andrew B, by the way. Combat Casual is a sick name. Wish I had thought of it. It just stems from my buddy Degenerate Dane. Calling me a casual all the time, like we call up each other and we go, hey, what's up, casual? What's your picks for the UFC? You know what I'm saying? So it's just, we're just having fun over here, man. We're just making picks. But to go more in depth on Beach Brothers' question, like it's going to be a combat sports channel without the cringe. Will I guarantee that I won't be cringy at times? No, because I think that's inevitable, right? Especially when you stream for hours and hours on end. Like, there's going to be some cringy shit. But it's not going to be intentional. Will there be shaming fighters and disgracing their entire existence? Very, very few fighters will get shame and disgrace. Not any people that you train with, Denial. But yeah, we're going to just, I mean, look, we're going to try to keep it to talking about the fight and outside things are going to be uh, less important. But it is good to see you, Denial. Appreciate you. Are we still good friends, by the way? No, we're not friends. But do we have a cordial relationship on MMA YouTube? 100%. Do I appreciate you being in the streams? 100%. But yeah, I have friends that I have met in person. Um, People that I talk to a lot. But yeah, Andrew B, you're still a loyal supporter of my channel. I appreciate that. But we're friends as far as like this relationship where we talk to each other in the chat. But as far as like personal friends, there's not many people inside of the MMA community I would consider like a friend of mine, a good friend at that. Oh man, what a letdown. Yeah. And we'll keep. I don't know, man. I think that the other channel split decision. Like we'll do one more show, maybe two. But that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it. So it is what it is. Things got to change, right? Um, all right, so let's go through some of these headlines. Bryce Mitchell believes John Silva feud is deeply personal. Oh wow, yeah. Aaron Pico always knew the UFC was his destiny. Unless you're a UFC champion, you don't have the respect. Yeah, true statement there from Pico. Who would you guys like to see Pico matched up with in his MMA debut? Let's check. I mean, let's check out the rankings here. And I always use Tapology for my rankings, unless it's like we're talking about a top 10 guy. Oh yeah, we'll do fight companions for sure, Andrew B. I spoke my piece upon original union and confusion of the duo. And this split makes all the sense, and I say that respectfully to you both. No hate. Yeah, dude. No. Listen. I thought, and I still think there is a way you can do a show with somebody that you really. I mean, look, I have nothing in common with Hank, other than the fact that we watch combat sports and we're both very passionate MMA fans. Hank definitely way on the other side of the spectrum of passion. But hold on a second. I just got a text. I got to answer. But yeah, when you have nothing in common with somebody and you're trying to have a partnership in something, there's definitely going to be a lot of clashes of things. And it just got to a point where I just realized that I can't stand that guy anymore. I mean, tell you the truth, I don't want anything to do with the content that he makes. So yeah, it does make sense, but I do think that there was a way in which it still could have been. And I mean, shit, you guys are here right now. I don't think that people like hated the show or wanted it to go away necessarily, but the partnership wasn't working. It wasn't working. We were button heads too much, and it really all just came to a head on that last Thursday's or was it last Thursday's PFL stream. Skip and Stephen A style was good. I knew it was the different perspective idea, but there is some core belief differences I felt were off and reared their heads. Yeah, dude, no, 100%. And I could have stayed. Look, did I go off on Hank way too harshly? That's fair. And I could have stayed level-headed and kept like doing my own thing inside of split decision combat sports. I mean, we got 1,700 subscribers. I don't think that was really warranted. We probably should have had maybe half of that, if that. You go over to like somebody like No Chill or Isha. I mean, they've got hundreds of people in their chat. Well, Isha has hundreds of people in his chat during Fight Companions. He's got way more of a hardcore community. Same with No Chill. Like his community is way more hardcore. There's way more people, right? So we were building a community over there. But really, I just didn't care anymore. I was like, dude, I don't want to do a show with this guy. The way that he acts, I couldn't stand it anymore. I think you guys can both succeed at your own thing. Yeah, 100%, dude. And yeah, we did a successful channel together, so why not, right? I'm not involved, but a couple times you throw me under the bus. Yeah, because I think that Hank panders to people. Um, I think he panders to you. Um, and like Kobe Wiggle at the cost of like I don't know, just being more on topic and more serious. Concur. They both have an avenue and the knowledge as well and dedication to succeed. Yeah, Geo as well. Yeah. Um, yeah, like I said, man, I don't want to make this all about Hank, but I guess it's kind of inevitable. Um, we I don't know. I feel like this should be a separate stream where I'm like, you know, giving my side of the story. Um, and I've kind of thought about doing that. I don't really want to stir the pot again. It might be inevitable. Um, but really, the reality is that he kind of has something over my head. And what do I mean by that? The YouTube channel that we ran off of is under his name. It's under his email. So what's to stop him from just starting that back up? And I guess that's not like that shouldn't be the biggest fear of mine, but it does kind of. It's just not fair for either one of us to stay with that channel and not do different channels. Um, so yeah, what's to stop him from just starting that channel back up and doing stuff on that channel? Nothing, nothing other than a verbal agreement, right? Um, but yeah, man, I mean, there's a lot of things that piss me off about working with a guy like that. I say work very loosely because, dude, we're just firing up our computer, turning on the mic, the the webcam, and talking in front of a camera, dude. This is not work to me, dude. Um, you know what I do for work? I install windows and doors, like and that's barely even work to me because I have a whole crew of guys to help me out. He definitely has some pics of you like John Jones does Dana. Oh no, not that kind of thing over your head. No, definitely not anything like that. Um, but yeah, it's just like, dude, at any time he could fire that back up and start doing shows on there, and that's something I definitely don't want. Um, fair points. I agree with you. It's just a number I get not wanting to start from scratch, but I'd rather 50 guys that ride with me than 500 people that don't watch. Yeah. No, and you're absolutely right. It's literally it's the monetization aspect of it that is not fair, right? Because we, regardless of what you or I think, we both put in work to make that channel monetized. Um, is more on the financial end for me than anything else, because I will admit that Hank definitely put in more watch out. He gave the channel more watch hours than I could have, right? But yeah, it really it's just like at the end of the show, I really just couldn't stand the dude, and I mean, when you're not really into the content being put out on your channel, that's not from you, there's an issue there, and as Denial said, it's like a fundamental perspective difference. Um, you did more work getting certain streams demonetized. Yeah, that's why I had an intro ready, but I want to make sure that it's like not gonna get copyright struck. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, I did. I was playing songs and shit. You live and you learn, right? Um, but yeah, like I mean, I would get calls at work. Like I'm sitting there working, and who is calling me? It's Hank, and he's like, "Hey, dude, what time do you want to stream tonight?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm working, you know." Like, so I would stop answering his phone calls, and then I'd get like 5 texts in a row. Hey, man, we need to do this. We need to do that. We need to do that. So I'd have to call him like, dude, don't call me at work. Don't call me at work. Okay, I'm sorry. And then he would just do it again. It's like, okay, whatever. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, well, at least he still cares about the channel. Case in point, I'd be on vacation. I'd be on vacation visiting my family, and who's calling me? It's Hank. Hey, man, what the show? It's like I can't do the show. I'm spending time with my family. It's like, oh man, well, we really need to do the show, and it's like I'd have to explain to him like, hey, and he would be cool with it. Don't make no mistake. After I had to explain to him, hey, I'm on vacation. I'm not doing the show. Um, so yeah, there is a lot of things, and it goes way beyond that I'm just like, dude, I don't understand why this person would even be calling me at work about a fucking stream that we're doing, because he did take it very seriously, like it was his professional job, and I do respect that. But at the same time, it's like, dude, this is not a job for me. Hop on the fucking YouTube and fucking stream for an hour or two is like, that takes nothing out of me or anything at all. Different levels of life experience and different life. Yeah, and that's there you go. It's like I have nothing in common with this person. Why continue doing a show with someone? Like I said, I could have held my tongue and just not said anything and just let it go where it was. And to be fair, we did have some good content we put out. Like we did a fast food tier list. That was fun. We did a boxing tier list. Super fun. The interviews were fun. But other than that, like, I really wasn't having fun. And when I tried to change the name of the channel, I got a lot of pushback. Are you a, oh, so we've talked about this before. I always thought that like a glazer was like the guy who made the glass. I do both. I do both. We do it all around here. Because our company's not very big, we kind of just do whatever we can. But I'm more of a residential like expert. Commercials still, there's still things I'm not really super great at. But yeah, residential remodels. We do everything. Big giant doors from China. Facts. Yeah. No, and it's cool, man. Like I don't regret doing the show with him at all. But there was certain things that like boundaries that the guy never respected, and that was an issue. I could have looked past a lot of things that he did if the boundaries just weren't crossed. It's been about 4 years now, Andrew. And I couldn't be happier. I mean, I'll be 27 on the 30th, and I graduated high school at 17 and started working immediately. So it'll be 10 years I've been in the construction industry now. So it really gave me a boost when I got into doing Windows, because how did you get the company you're going at first? A group of friends or family? It was I mean, dude, it's been a long path to where I'm at now. So when I first started working, I was installing floors, and I just got that job from a friend. I was making $8 an hour installing floors. And then I started doing siding, and that was a lot of fun, but it was very hard. It was actually the hardest job I've ever had was when I did siding. And you kind of look fondly upon those times that were, hard in your professional career, because it was a very dangerous job. And then I kind of bounced around doing flooring and siding, because siding was such a hard job. Flooring is a hard job just trying to skate and do floors, because you're literally, on the floor all day long. But yeah, and then I had a lot of different jobs just in the construction industry. I mean, I've literally done just about every trade you could possibly imagine. And then I worked for a guy. I worked for a guy doing. Can I share this stream with with YouTube on my? Yeah, sure. Why not, Andrew B? Go ahead. I'd appreciate that. I had this job where I was doing 3-story houses off of ladders, doing siding, and I did it for like a week. And I told the guy, I was like, dude, I can't do this. Like, this is sketchy. Um, Soffitting is the worst in siding. It depends. If you're doing a lid, like a whole porch with Hardy, that sucks. That sucks ass. But if you're just doing regular wood, easy stuff. Hey, what's going on, Nick? Good to see you, man. I like doing tongue and groove when I did siding. Tongue and groove is fun. It just takes a long time. Yeah, I had this job where I was doing these 3-story houses off ladders, and it sucked. And I told the guy, I was like, dude, I'm done. He's like, dude, we can get you a spot, like being on the ground. I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna stick around here if I can't be 100% helpful to you. Like, I'm not gonna just be the bitch on the ground, fucking doing all the bitch work. So one of the guys from that crew called me a couple weeks later. I was working for this Mexican guy who didn't speak any English. And he's like, dude, I'm starting my own crew. I was like, I'm down, but I want to run the saw. Like, I don't want to be climbing on ladders anymore. And he's like, yeah, bet. And he was saying all the right things, but it turned out to be a nightmare. The guy, long story short, guy never paid me. Worked 100, and that was my fault. I never signed anything with him. I worked 100 hours for this guy, and I ended up taking him to the labor board, and all that they said to me was all he's legally required to do is pay you the minimum wage. So I got $770 for working 100 hours. But after that, I just called my boss off Craigslist. He just moved here from San Diego, and Windows sounded like something I've done before and I could get into. And within the first 6 months, he made me a crew lead. He kind of just threw me right into it. I didn't know what I was doing, and yeah, man, best job I've ever had, hands down. Let's see. I am an employee, but I basically my boss treats me like a partner. Though I'm not like I know that he's my boss. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, just the way that it's way more than fair what he pays me per piece work, and didn't get 70K in debt to get a career score, another one for the trade. Yeah, dude. I mean, look, I went to an alternative high school, and I was a bad kid in middle school and high school. Well, I never went to a proper high school because they wouldn't let me. They said I had to go to the alternative high school. Um, School was not my thing. So the alternative high school helped me get through school faster and just get it right into the trades, man. I wasn't going to go to college. So I've done a lot of remodeling construction work as well. Worked in a trailer factory building RV floors to complete demolition. And yeah, then you know what's up. I mean, and it takes a lot of shitty jobs to know when you finally have a good one, right? Hey, no worries, Nick. I'm glad you're here. 30 feet up on scaffolding is no joke. Dude, I did this ski resort up in the mountains. We're working off of a 7-story scaffold. That job sucked. That job was the worst job I ever had. I remember I would go to the bathroom from the 7th floor of the scaffolding, and I would literally count in my head how long it took me to go down to the porta potty and then back up. And I was like, okay, if I just do this 5 more times, the workday will be over. I did chimneys and basements, doing masonry for see, that is one thing I haven't done is working with brick or stone. But something I mean, there's always those like jobs in the trades you would like to learn how to do just, for man shit. That's fucked up. Yeah, screw that guy. He ended up being a really bad dude. I looked up his record. Let's just say I ended up reporting him to the police because he he was unregistered. Lots of 30 feet up scaffolding time. Yeah, fuck that shit. Check my post about the stream. All right, I will. DOCGED here. There you go, man. Yeah, you just gotta get through it, man. UFC Media Day is going on right now. Should we stream the media day and just sit here and react to it? Uh Unbelievable that guy. Yeah, dude, there's a lot of shady people in the construction industry, and Idaho is like the wild west of as far as licenses and like how legit your business is. It's really the laws are very loose around here. Deport Skate's old boss. No, it wasn't. He wasn't illegal. The guy had some charges from another state. Um, that he had not. I'm guessing that's why he ran from that state. And when he came here, I don't really. Let's just say he was a PDF file. He didn't pay me, so I collected. I called ICE on that motherfucker. Let's go. Oh, that's funny. I almost feel like that would be fun if we just like reacted to the media day. This would be a long ass stream, but I was gonna get into these headlines. Oh yeah, that's right. Who should Aaron Pico's first opponent be inside the featherweight division? Um, I'm trying my Xbox on now. Turning your Xbox on now. Are you a boss as well? While you're no, I'm not. I'm not a boss. Um, let's see. So I guess the real question is what ranking of opponent should Aaron Pico fight? Now he never was the champion in Bellator to get YouTube for the media day. Oh, okay, got you. Mayweather will fight Aaron Pico? What? Oh gosh, maybe in some sort of strange exhibition boxing match. I thought he was getting Evloev. I saw an interview where he denied that. I think he was trying to make the fight with Evloev, but it fell through. Um, I heard it was Steve Garcia. But I guess we can't really confirm or deny anything. But yeah, right around 20, I think is 20 and up is fine because he never was really champion. You got guys like I mean, Steve Garcia really is the right opponent, right? Because he's right there outside of the top 15, floating around that 20 range. Just found an article and sounds like Movzar is why it didn't happen. I mean, look, if you're Movzar, Evloev, and they offer you to fight a PFL Bellator newcomer, um, I think that's reasonable not to want the fight with him. Um, but I also feel like I don't know, man. Aaron Pico's got some grappling chops. Pretty damn good fighter, Aaron Pico is. And that's kind of a dangerous fight for Movzar. I do kind of understand. Pico is a top 10 when he's on, but hardly a top 20 when he's off. Dude. Facts. That is a fantastic comment. Yeah. Yeah, he's the man when he's on, when he's off, he's way off. Yeah, let's see who else you got. You got Nathaniel Wood, ranked above Steve Garcia. Arosa, Woodson, Elkins, all booked. There is Cub Swanson. I don't like that fight for Cub. Cub would get destroyed. Barboza, kind of the same thing, but Barboza would be a good name. There's Giga. Giga sounds fun. And then we're getting into the top 10 guys. So yeah, I'm cool with Steve Garcia. Andre calling out Fedor. Oh my god, for dirty boxing. Why not, right? Screw it. I don't want to see Wood lose his momentum, so I'm against that one. Giga just gets wrestled. Yeah. That's why I like the Steve Garcia matchup. Honestly, Aaron Pico to fight Jones. Aaron Pico is a featherweight, bro. All right, let's keep going. Marab defends the Sean O'Malley rematch. It's going to be a totally different fight. If I was Marab, I would totally fight Sean O'Malley again, right? That's an easy fight. Arlovsky needs that revenge. What are they? Have they fought 3 times? I know they've at least fought twice. I don't know. That's something you would know, Nick. How many times have Arlovsky and Fedor fought? 314. Pico signs the UFC. Burglar broke into Henry Cejudo's studio and stole his first UFC belt. Did you guys see this? Apparently, that belt is up for sale on eBay for like 30 grand. Affliction 2, I believe. Did they fight just once? That was that famous moment where Andrei Arlovsky like jumps up in the air and Fedor sleeps him on while he's in the midair. That's fucking funny. Poor Henry Cejudo, dude. Volkanovski understands why people are questioning him after 2 knockout losses. It's easy to say he's done. Yeah. If Michael Chandler loses to Patty, you better start thinking about what the next career is going to be. I agree. All right, okay. Let's preview the weekend, and we can talk about. Let's see if Grabaka Hitman has his schedule up. He does. Awesome. And there's fights going down today. RXF. What even is that? Okay, we'll go through Grabaka Hitman's. Maybe we'll start a different stream for the media day, but I think it's already been going on for a long time. I don't know if that's going to be the most interesting content. All right, let's check this out. Grabaka Hitman. Let me read Nick's comment real quick. Andre was piecing him up and then got caught during a fight. Yeah, hilarious. RXF in Romania. Okay. EFC in South Africa. South Africa. Combate Global on YouTube from Florida. Word. When is that? Hold on. I think that's tomorrow. Yeah. Obviously, got one Friday fights. I can't do because I'm going to be working. Always very consistent. I heard that half the fights ended in knockout last card, so that'll be good. I gotta read this text from real quick. So wild. Fedor lost 3 in a row in the middle of his career, but people call him the GOAT. Definitely deserves. That is interesting. I mean, well, look, he went on to lose. I mean, who did he lose to? Hendo, Bigfoot, and the last one is escaping me. Hendo, Bigfoot. Can't remember. What a loser. Having a job, can't stream. Mexicans need more credit for their hair. MFs talk about natives and Italians, but just look at that head of hair on this man. Got some thick hair, man. Oh, Verdum. Thank you. Jeez. Gosh. Yeah, Verdum. And those are like some all-time great. Bigfoot, not so much. TRT, Bigfoot, okay. I think Fedor still deserves to be talked about as like top 10, top 15 MMA fighters of all time. Because that run that he was on was at 29 fights. Crazy. And I think, I mean, look, is okay. When we're talking about all-time great status, right? who is ranked higher, Khabib or Fedor? I think it's Fedor without a question, right? Longer legacy, but Khabib's run has to be talked about as far as like one of the best runs ever in MMA history. Obviously, the guy went undefeated, barely ever lost a round. So yeah, when you talk about that, I think Fedor still has to be not the goat, not the number one goat, because clearly to me it's John Jones. Like obviously it's John Jones, GSP, DJ. Um, these are guys that should be mentioned in your top three, top five. I'm forgetting one. I don't know why it's escaping me. Uh, but yeah, those got to be up there. And Fedor, depending on how you view his career, should be. I probably put him in my top 10 personally. Um, yeah, we've got Friday fights. We've got ACA. I know people like ACA. So yeah, the weekend's kicking off pretty good on Friday. Um, Friday night fights from Fort Wayne, Indiana. You going to this one, Nick? XFN, never heard of it. It's on Triller from Tulsa. All right, here we go. We do have a PFL card. If you didn't hear already, Tyler Santos is out. So yeah, your headlining fight is Leandro Higo versus Josh Reddinghouse. Jeez, what a terrible card. Liz Carmouche versus Ilara Joanne. Never heard of her. Yeah, what a terrible card that's going to be. But at least you have men's bantamweights. Always fun. Putting Juliana Velasquez on the prelims against some lady. Jenna Bishop versus Kana Watanabe is a good fight. I don't know much about Josh Reddinghouse, but yeah, I think LFA is going to be the better watch on Friday night. Where is it from? Oh, in Minnesota. Cool. How far is the Mystic Lake Casino from Minneapolis? DJ and JJ, same size. I'm taking DJ is how I look at it. I understand that. I think so. For my estimation, like best fighter, John Jones for sure. The greatest as far as his legacy is concerned, GSP. And then I would say like, see, I guess it is debatable on if you could take DJ or John Jones as far as the most skill. Okay, legacy, greatest GSP, most skilled. Got to go DJ, but I think name value and who did he beat? It's got to go to John Jones. All right, let's keep going. What is this? Shoot boxing, Tokyo, Japan. Not as many fights as the last one. Or was that a Pancrase card that had like 35 fights on it? Black Combat, sick. Black Combat's. I gotta start watching that. I haven't watched it, but from all accounts, it's very fun. JCK is supposed to be really good, and it's free on YouTube. I might try to cover that. It is at 5 in the morning my time, but I heard it's really good. Kunlun fight. It's on Douyin. So if you don't know about Douyin, it's like Japanese TikTok, or sorry, Chinese TikTok. It's very impossible to navigate. Probably won't be watching that. It's only like 35 minutes outside of downtown to answer your question. Okay, word. Not bad. Lion Championship. They don't have a bout order for it. We love MMA from Germany. There's Cage Warriors Academy. I don't know what that is. That's a contender series. Some bullshit. Long card though. Quite a few fights on it. What else we got? Some random Polish boxing. I wonder if they're gonna do a Thai fight this weekend. I think they did one from Rome the other week. Hexagon. I've never watched Hexagon. Is it any good? Do you guys know? What is this? Oh, DAZN Boxing. I don't know who any of those people are. Rage in the Cage. Wasn't that a promotion back in the day? Cage Rage? And then obviously UFC 314 headlining the weekend. Oh yeah. Boots and Ennis, or Boots and Stanionis. Pretty good fight. Got a Pro Box card. These Pro Box cards are free on YouTube. They're always fun. Don't know why they switched to Saturday from Wednesday though. Khabib is the goated all around. I'd say he has the most dominant run in MMA history at the highest level. Yeah, I'll post them on. Yeah, they're gonna be on the channel. They'll stay up for sure. Favorite UFC fighter when you first got introduced, and favorite fighter now. So obviously Khabib. Khabib is the one who got me into MMA in general. The whole reason I started watching at the end of 2019. My favorite fighter now has got to be Gian Silva, for sure. But yeah, I mean, the first pay per view I bought was Bobby Knuckles versus Izzy, because I thought Bobby Knuckles kind of resembled what I was looking for in a fighter. You know, a guy who, I guess, embodies the Bushido spirit. But honestly, dude, my favorite fighter of all time is Nick Diaz, hands down. His fights in Strikeforce, dude. His fight with Paul Daly, his fight with Takanori Gomi, can't be topped. Nick Diaz, 100%. Cage Rage, yep. Glory and Ryzen, oh yeah, covering all that stuff. Dan Henderson back in the day, Max Holloway right now. Oh, okay, nice. Hendo, dude, that knockout of Michael Bisping, still that punch that he threw is so brutal. What do you guys think? Should I do a stream for the media day? I want to put. Oh, there is a deep card. Let's go. Try to watch that because I am subscribed to Deep's YouTube channel now. Oh, there's 2 deep cards. Oh gosh. Better let Isha know. Dude, I'm gonna try to dual stream with Isha for those. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the weekend recap. Some of the news of the day. GSP. Nick is a beast. You smoke? I used to. I smoked every day of my life from 14 to 25. Quit smoking weed a year and a half ago. So, yeah, used to. H-bomb. I watched that live while house sitting and yelled so loud the neighbors called the cops on me. What? Dude, that is a sick story, dude. Damn. That's fucking badass, dude. Used to hate Mike because of his Hendo beef. Who was that other guy that he beefed with? Did he like spit on his corner? Do one stream of Deep later. You will do another one. Yeah. No. I think I'm gonna double up. And that's on Sunday. I'm gonna try to do both of those with Isha if he's down. But yeah, you know, now just vapes. Yeah, literally these stupid nicotine vapes. This is the hardest thing to quit. I've tried and tried. It's very difficult. I'll go like a week or 2 without it, and I'll just go right back to it. This is the hardest thing. If I just push through that like second week, I'm sure I'd be able to quit. But yeah, it's tough. It's very tough. All right, guys. What do you think? Should we do a media day stream and just react to everything? By the way, sick turnout for this show, dude. I was expecting like maybe nobody to be here for this first stream on this channel, but hell yeah, dude. I appreciate all the support. We'll have I have a Cash App. It's just under my. I mean, I don't know if it'll be the worst thing to just post it. The presser could be lit. When are they doing the presser? If I do a reaction to the media day, I might just like play Fire Emblem while I sit there and watch. I would play Super Smash Bros, but I'm not sure how to get that onto the computer for streaming. But I might look into that. Let's see how deep they are in the media day right now. It's funny, I've had this channel for like not even a week, and it's already got the same amount of subscribers as the Idaho Skatesman YouTube channel. To be fair, I don't ever post anything on that channel. Let's see. Let's see. So it looks like Volk and Lopez have already talked. MMA Fighting just ended their media day stream. Not Silva just got done with his. So yeah, they've already been live for 2 hours. I don't think I'm gonna do that. Volk looks so much older, or is it just me? I mean, the guy's what is he? 36? My bad. I meant media day. I don't know the difference. Yeah, so media day is like they interview all the fighters before the press conference. But yeah, I mean, I think the press conference will be on Friday, so we'll definitely do a reaction to that. Volk looks so old. I mean, he's 36. Had a lot of damn fights. I don't know. Look, I think Volkanovski can totally win a decision against Lopez, but I'm just gonna pick Lopez because the odds are in Volk's favor. Imagine if Volkanovski did pull off the win against Lopez and he looked good doing it. It'd be a historical precedent, and you might even be talking about Volk as one of the top 10 fighters of all time if he wins the belt back. That would be exceptional. He's the same age as me, and yeah, but I feel he just got old fast last couple years. Seems like life caught up to him. Yeah, I'm out. All right, Andrew. Thanks for hopping in. And looks in the face, not performing. He's just made bad decisions, taking the fights he did more so. Yeah, for sure. We'll do some more call-in streams. We'll talk about. I mean, look, I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna be streaming regardless. Doing collabs with other channels, and yeah, man. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I do have an intro made. I'm gonna post it as soon as I end the stream. I'm just gonna post it on the channel, just to see if it gets copyright struck. That's it. So, anyway, thank you everyone for joining. I do have the same countdown, but maybe I'll make a new one. But anyway, it's time to wrap it up.
What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Man, you want some too? You better wrap it up. You better wrap that gavel up, B.